All right, let's get started. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to beautiful, sunny, tropical Toronto. I'm Steve Feldman. I work for CNET Networks. Thanks to them for funding this trip for me and allowing me the time to do all this. And I'm the program committee chair, so what you're going to be seeing for the next 3 days is my fault, I guess. Big thanks to our hosts, TorIX and Teleglobe, a VSNLI international company. It says that in the small print. We're going to have a couple of speakers representing each of our hosts in just a few minutes, but we need to say a big thanks to them, of course, for arranging this venue, arranging the connectivity, and doing a lot of hard work to make this happen. A lot of other people contributed to making this meeting a success. I'm not going to try reading them all, but here they are. They're on the web page too. Make sure you thank them if you see them. We have 3 break sponsors for this meeting. They're the ones responsible for making sure that we have stuff to eat during the breaks, so thank them when you see them. And of course, our beer and gear sponsors. For those of you who are new, the beer and gear is a reception that's going to be held this evening, starting at 5:30. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but it's right here somewhere in one of these rooms. And it's what it says. It's beer and wine and stuff to eat, good stuff to eat. And the vendors who sponsored it also get to show you their gear. So win-win for everybody. Thanks to everybody on the program committee who did the hard work of putting this program together for you. I'm just the lead cat wrangler, but everyone else on here does the real hard work of finding, recruiting the talks, reviewing everything, and then coming to a consensus on what should be presented up here. So far, no agenda changes. If there are any, we'll announce it to the mailing list and post it on the web. Those of you who aren't here, who probably can't hear me anyways, you can go to the Nanog page and there's instructions on how to stream audio and video. A couple of reminders. The usual network security one. This is an open wireless network, which means that everybody can sniff your traffic and see your passwords. So don't use clear text passwords. Do use encryption. There's a PGP key signing BOF, which is sort of, it's not normal afternoon session BOF, but it's going to be held in the the room with the tables that's, I don't know, over there somewhere during a few of the breaks. So see the web page, Nanog page about that, and Beer Gear I've told you about already. In case you're wondering why different people have different colored badges, blue badges are the Nanog Steering Committee. They're the ones who actually run the organization, as it were, deciding on policies and procedures, and they also get to choose who gets to be on the other committees, the program and mailing list committees. Yellow badges are the program committee, the people I just showed you a few minutes ago. Red, or actually pink badge, is for the mailing list committee, the people who police the mailing list to make sure that it stays on topic and people aren't verbally flaming each other and all that. Mine is sort of a greenish because I get to sit on 2 committees. We also have dots, which you probably saw there by the registration desk, that people can stick on their badges if they want to express interest in particular sub-communities like peering coordinators or network security geeks or PGP key signers. We're going to have lightning talks as usual. This time we've divided it up into 2 sessions of 3 talks each. So 3 of them will be today before lunch and 3 of them will be Wednesday morning. If you want to submit a lightning talk, you still can. You have until 5 p.m. Tuesday to get into the Wednesday slot. There are only 3 slots available, so the PC will choose which ones we like the best or which ones we think you'll find most interesting, and those are the ones that will be presented. The only criterion is that it has to be on topic for the mailing list, which means semi-technical at least. I need to double check on this. I believe it's tomorrow night we're going to have informal BOFs. We'll have a meeting room or 2 set aside. And if you want to have a meeting on some topic that's of interest but didn't make it into one of the formal BOFs, you can sign up on the sheet. And you can tell Betty Burke, who's, I can't see it in the lights, but I'm sure around here somewhere, or somebody from Merit if you need a projector or anything like that for your BOF. A couple of commercial announcements. One from ARIN. You probably noticed the ARIN help desk thing up the stairs and in the little tunnel outside. They're here to help you with any of your ARIN registration needs or questions. Hours up there. And message, oh, this is interesting. All right, there's supposed to be a Sheraton logo up at the top there. I don't know why it's not. But in case of an emergency, there's going to be a fire alarm. It'll tell you what to do, so do what it says. And the hotel asks that you notice where the nearest emergency exit is and go there if they told to. So that's it for me. Now I'm going to introduce the interesting people, our hosts. Whoever gets up here first can speak first. All right. All right. We have Jon Nistor from TorIX and Sylvie LaPerrière from Teleglobe plus VSNLI. Okay, she can explain what that means. So, welcome and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are they on the USB?
Should be on the presenters.
Oh, you're on there somewhere.
Where is it?
That's me. Okay.
Is there again?
Yeah, I'm sure it's here somewhere.
Oh, there we go.
Under here, and it should be under your last name, but
There we go.
oh, there you are. Okay, good. This is called the laptop shuffle. It's part of the meeting. It's very important.
Good morning, everybody. Hopefully your flights were all right coming in. I heard there were some issues in Chicago for some of you. This is Nanog 39 in Toronto. Sylvie here, and I'm Jon. I'm just going to go through a couple of things about Toronto, TorIX, and VSNL as well, just to cover a couple things.
Well, this is the third meeting in Canada. The first one was in Toronto in June, actually in November 99 in Montreal. We had 551 attendees, and then we had Toronto June 2002, 509 attendees. And this is the past attendance. So we are very pleased with the pickup, especially for a winter Nanog. Did you think it was sunny? So total registrants for this conference is 430, and we're very pleased to announce that we have 170 new attendants, first-time attendants. So please find them and meet them so that they feel welcome in the community. We also have 18 students. That's great. And the regional distribution of our attendees, 90% from North America and 10% between Europe, Asia, Australia, and Africa.
So some Toronto facts that some of you may or may not know, just kind of a little history lesson. It was initially the town of York, a very long time ago. Incorporated as the city of Toronto in 1834. For anybody who gets a lot of nosebleeds, it's only 249 feet above sea level. And if you happen to get random calls on your cell phone, those are the area codes that are pretty much local to us. The only sporting event in town I know a lot of people like to go check stuff out. It appears to only be the Raptors game because the Leafs are out of town. And one thing that a lot of people may not know about Toronto is it has an underground path. Most of downtown you can reach at going downstairs. There is a map actually outside that Carol managed to get a hold of by the registration booth. So I definitely suggest picking up one of those if you don't feel like going outside. So whose idea was it to come to Toronto? It was Joe Abley's. Although it's surprising that there's this many people here, but it's always good. This is the weather. This snapshot was actually taken a couple days ago. That's probably the weather with the wind chill. It's actually not so bad when there's no wind. I even added some Fahrenheit numbers for you so you can cringe. Hopefully it'll shape up a little. You never know, these weather guys always lie to you anyways. So a bit about TorIX. It's a not-for-profit organization established roughly in July of '97, so it's almost 10 years now. I currently have over 4 gigs of traffic, which to most exchanges, it's not really that much. It is Canada. Over 80 peers, most of them local. We have a couple overseas, a couple US guys as well. So there's 3 network guys and 5 board members right now. And connectivity is 100,010 gig. There's the website. Please don't blow it up. And actually, some of you may or may not know, TorIX was actually kind of a half proof of concept thing when it started because of the old CNET stuff. So we're actually a little surprised that it had kind of grown to be this big, but I'm actually very pleased, and there are a lot of TorIX members here today, so thanks, guys.
And VSNL International stands for Videsh Sanchar Nigam Limited. Teleglobe was bought by an Indian group last year. So we are part of the Tata Group family. And we merged together actually 3 companies, and you will probably recognize those. There's the Tata Group, VSNL, which is very strong in India. It's a local incumbent operator with also ISP service. Then there's the TGN. I don't know if you're familiar with Tyco Global Network. So those assets were merged as well. And then the Teleglobe assets, the voice, the IP, and the mobile. And all wrapped together makes a brand new company.
So this is a slide that everybody always asks for. So the gear came in from RIM. Joel LaFleur actually was able to find a router for us. One of our other guys went to pick it up. The Bell Sonnet is an OC3 that comes into the hotel. Bell's the only carrier that has fiber into this building. 151 Front, for most of you probably already know, is Canada's largest carrier hotel. Pretty much everybody that comes to Canada is somehow going to have something hanging around there. The Sheraton Hotel, the telco room, I think is downstairs. Yeah, it should be downstairs. They actually have a very extensive network here at the hotel for anybody in the rooms. I don't think anybody's had any problems so far with it. And we have a 20 meg SHDSL, which is treated as ATM. It's actually kind of interesting. If you see Dave Gilbert around, you want to ask him about that. It's definitely an interesting setup, and that goes right into the TorIX fabric. So there is TorIX routes that pop up on the Merit router as well.
And we'd like to thank all of our volunteers. Like, hosting an event like this requires a lot of people. So from our side, we had Marc Brisbois, Guy Coallier, Jim Delaski, Sebastian Felicello, Annie Pronovo, Stéphane Chenoun, John Sweeting, and Michel Tremblay. Thank you to all of them.
On TorIX side, Joe, always good putting stuff together. David Gilbert from EI Catalyst, Steve Fulton, Samir Koslaw, Paul Nash, myself, and Scott Silzer, kind of legworking everything to mesh everything together.
And we really want to thank the program committee for putting a good agenda together. And so there's Steve, Nick, Igor, Daniel, Kobe, Mike, Joel, Keith, Ren, Bert, Ted, Josh, Richard, Pete, Todd, Bill, and Vish. Thank you.
The T-shirt was actually put together by a very close friend of mine. There's I guess you've probably seen 2 flavors of T-shirts. One with the blue for it's kind of a unisex shirt, and there's I guess it's an aqua color
The girly
that
shirt.
Sylvie's got for the ladies. And of course, every presentation is never complete with a good comic slide. So this Nanog is totally Nistor approved.
I guess Betty will do that later, but I personally want to thank the Merit staff. They are so wonderful, and they make the job of a host very easy. Thank you, everyone.